And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the quarterfinals. Welcome back to the quarterfinals here of the Tenacious Turtle Tussle number 35. We are here, we have returned, and we are jumping into a ZVP and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Winter Madness. We have the blue Protoss player with the blue Protoss representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player, the red Zerg player himself from Lena, Finland. It is Mixu. Here we go. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our ZVP. Here we go. Here we go. Initially, we have our standard openers, and of course, welcome to Winter Madness. Oh my god, we can see the snow falling. Let's go, Papi, let's go. Welcome to Winter Madness. Again, it has been, it is one of the new TLMC21 maps, of course. This is a very large map of the map pool, a larger map, very defendable on initial 4 bases. So you have your natural here, you have your 3rd base, and you have your 4th expansion as well. Coming into the 4 base setup, we have a bit of a medium-sized ramp coming in between the bases. We have a more narrow entrance here towards the 3rd and a narrow entrance into the 4th base as well. Because of the narrow entrances, because of the high ground, because of the distance between the bases themselves, which is relatively short, it is easier to rotate defensively between the bases and to secure yourself and to turtle up on 4 bases. To try to counteract that, I will say that there is a high yield gas geyser expansion on the map. There are 2 of them, of course, one on either side, and that ideally will help against that sort of thing. So if a player is turtling up, then the advantage that you have as the aggressing player is to get a bit of a gas income and a gas boost by expanding on the map and taking these bases. But what I will say is that a secure 4-base setup, I mean, or a very secure 4-way setup, it means that if Shameless plays standard, if he plays defensive, then I will give him the edge when it comes to turtling up into Skytoss. I do think that he will have the advantage in regards to that. What we have seen from Mixu in recent times in ZVP has been 3-base all-ins, and I will say that the strength and the effectiveness of 3-base all-ins are heavily dependent on the maps themselves. So we'll see how Mixu will adjust on Winter Madness. Oh boy. So here we go. Behind this Stargate opener out of Shameless. Does go for Stargates into Oracle into 3rd base, +1 and Blink. It looks like a standard setup here out of Shameless. We don't really expect Shameless to deviate too much. He is one to just play standard to calm down. Again, our eyes are going to be mainly on Mixu, as he is more of the aggressor in this matchup. Here we go. And it does shade into the main. Shades into the main base. So far, just poking in, pulling back. Doesn't quite commit. Again, 2 up, second 1-shot workers. Now here comes the 2nd adept. And we'll see if Shameless can find any damage. Again, so far, it's on Mixu to keep up with these rotations. He's bleeding out his lings. Thankfully, Shameless doesn't commit into the mineral lines. Thankfully. Pulls away, and so far, we're settling in. Yo, shout out to the turtle. Beautiful. Oracle does make his way towards the natural. Shameless behind this is getting his 3rd base up and running. He's at maintaining map control. The 3rd base will be able to securely get up. The Oracle does poke in. 4 drones, actually. Okay, nice damage. 4 drones go down. The Oracle does pull away. Early Evo Chamber out of Mixu. Looks like +1 melee from the side of our Zerg player. So going to melee, going to Ling Hydra. We have a +1 melee on the way. So did mention. And again, this is going to be set up for a Ling Hydra composition or a Ling Bane Hydra composition for Mixu. Shameless likewise standard follower. Poking in, maintaining map control, denying creep. As As the Depsay shades into the main base, and does he get the queen in time? He does. Oh, just barely. No. Does get the queen, but will lose an oracle in the process. A bit of a back and forth trade. The Depsay make their way into the mineral line, and drones, are they going to start going down? It gets one. I guess one drone so far. The wings are popping out just in time. But he'll lose more. This is getting out of hand here. 4 drone kills, getting 4, 5, 6, 7 drones. Ay, ay, ay. 7 drones, 8 drone kills. He's not done. He's not done. Okay, he's done. But 8 drones go down. Behind this, Mixu is getting into his own upgrades. What's on Blink, building up into his robo and settling into his 3 bases back at home, looking very comfortable. From the side of Mixu, I was waiting to see if he was going to go Ling Bane Hydra. The answer is no. It's just pure Ling Hydra. This is more traditional. This is more what we expect to see. In the latest patch, because of the buff to Banelings and their HP, we have seen players dabble a little bit more into Banelings. But the downside of that, of course, is it does kind of make you, it is more gas intensive, as you will have to produce and likewise have less Hydras. And we'll see if Mixu does cut workers early, or if he does actually drone up harder in towards lurkers, in towards hive tech. Show us what you got. As Mixu does make 5 more drones, droning up quite heavily. Oh no, as I say that though, workers are getting caught out. That's going to be another 4 drone kills, brutal damage. Queens, they zone away. And Mixu is getting up to 77 drones. So he's trying to re-drone. Shameless looking comfortable. Mixu going into Spire tech. This is speaking of being gas intensive, getting into Hydra upgrades, Hydra production, but also going for the Spire as well. This is a bold move out of Mixu. I mean, it is unexpected, true, right? Like the last thing, as a Protoss player, the last thing you expect is to see a Spire in this stage of the game. So this can catch Shameless off guard. The problem is, though, that, I mean, this is going to eat into the overall supply of Mixu, his overall defenses. We'll see if we can hold on. Soldiers back in. They threaten the queens. This is where the plus on melee lings do come into play. But there's not many. Again, Shameless has been stuck re-droning. Oh, almost gets one. Almost, but not quite. Things are going down. Gets one of the queens. We'll lose 1 stalker in the process. Oh! Mixu wants 2 and 3. There we go. 3 stalker kills. Not bad towards the end. And Mixu's holding. Mixu is holding on. Remember, Shameless wasn't all in. He wasn't going for an 8-gate all in. If he was, I think he probably would have killed, to be honest. But thankfully, he wasn't going for an all in. Behind this, he's expanding, getting a 4th base, taking up into Storm, getting into a longer game, which means there's a higher chance that the Spire comes into play. Spire is done. Do we go into the mutas? There it is. Oh, we have 5 mutas in production. That is enough to one-shot probes. That's only to harass. As Mixu is also taking into lurkers. So again, this is all very, very gas intensive. Now remember, because we're making 6 mutas here and the Spire, this actually delayed the lurker den and is delaying lurker and hive tech as well. This means that there's a window in time where Mixu is vulnerable. Where Mixu, he is very vulnerable here. Without lurkers, defending against this kind of army is going to be difficult. Not impossible, but difficult. And Shameless can potentially break through. Behind this, Fleet Beacon, Stargates, getting ready for Sky Toss. Mixu getting ready for his own counterattack. Shameless pushing in, he's holding on to those storms. He's got 4 storms with the army, 4 High Templar. Lurkers are morphing in. Base is under fire. At the same time, Mixu does hit the right-hand side. We'll take a storm to the face. Oh, Lings get us around. Yeah, Mixu not paying attention. But so far, he does hold on. No detection, no revelation. Yeah, no revelations here. At the same time, mutas, they do get across the map. Probes are falling. Nice damage here by Mixu. The mutas, they harass. They get 12 probe kills. At the same time, Shameless, he has no detection. He cannot push in. But the Zealots, they get into the main. Okay, we have a back and forth. We have mutas in the main base, Zealots in the main as well. Stalkers are pushing in. But again, we need some more detection here. We need some more revelations. If only one of the oracles didn't go down earlier. So far, 14 versus 14. 14 probes go down for 14 drones. Mixu, he does defend. He retains the base, retains the economy for the most part. And Mixu survives. He survives, he holds on. Now there should be a counter timing here. Now there should be a window in time where Mixu has lurker tech before Shameless has Sky Toss. in saying that, though, Tempests are coming. Like, the Tempests are on the way. That window is closing. As Shameless, he's perfecting his army, and as we mentioned before, it is easy to defend on 4 bases on this map. The Hydra run-by was unsuccessful. Shameless is very comfortable here on a 4-base economy. The 5th base is a little bit more exposed, but what I will say is that if you can take the 5th base here, then your 6th base is far easier, of course. It is very close by. We'll see how Shameless does rotate. We'll see what base he ends up going for. Does he go for the base next to the natural, or does he expand forward towards the Zerg? With the Skytoss army, I can see this turning out like Incorporeal, where you can just take the space, and with mass Skytoss, you can just lay siege upon the 4 bases and then push into the natural. I do think that this space is going to be a little bit more secure and easier for the Terran to take in PvZ, for example. But that's just because, like, naturally, natively, Terran, they typically expand towards the Zerg player anyway to keep up the aggression. Here we can see Shameless expanding away from the Zerg. So it does go for a much safer 5th. And then can just take these bases here towards the bottom side. Yeah, can just can just take these southern bases. Shameless does have his army in position. I would say that currently this is the most vulnerable location for Shameless, but he already has Storm, he has some Immortals, his army is ready. Again, Shameless, he's perfecting his army. Mixu, he himself, likewise, is building up towards a Brewlord Infestor. That window where we spoke about has come and gone. Like, now there's plenty of Tempest, now there's plenty of Skytoss. So Lurkers and a winner is effective. And again, it's going to be on Mixu to refine his army and to ideally throw away these Mutas and throw away these Hydras. We're going to get rid of the Hydras and Mutas and replace them with Spellcasters, with Corruptors. Mixu, he has to work on refining that army. He's going to work on it. Shameless is already maxed out. Oof. Am I blind? I swear there was a High Templar here earlier. Am I crazy? Okay, no Templar, no Storm defensively. Oh. Speaking of, Mixu looking for a way in, actually rotates towards the 3rd base. Okay. And Shameless, he's out of position. Yeah, he moved out. He moved out. The base is exposed. Shameless does he recall. Very nice Storms. Oh my god. Storms do punish. 3rd base goes down. Shameless, where are we going? As Shameless's main army is breaking through. But again, he was woefully out of position here. Now the natural's exposed. Shameless now he's turning back around. And we're trading bases. We're trading bases. Shameless, who will lose his 3rd base. Oh, as these Lurkers are going to get picked up. Shameless will lose his 3rd. Likewise, his natural is also under fire. At the same time, though, we do see Shameless pushing in, taking down the 4th base of Mixu. Oh my god. And bullying those Corruptors. And again, this run by this Ras is amazing for Mixu. But can he stop the main army? Can he stop the main army? That's the real question. Mixu, he has 1 Infestor. Oh no, the Corruptors, they do move in on their own. They do get 1 Tempest. Get 1. 27 probe kills. I mean, that is a lot of damage. We're getting messy. Mixu going for another run by. Nice fungal. Locks down the Tempest. Gets 1. Gets 2. 2 Tempests go down. Lings, they do hit the 4 base, but there are plenty of cannons. That is no Toast's pylon, though. Kind of. As the pylon up does go down. But last Shameless barely does defend. And again, Mixu, this main army is not good enough. Like, there's just not enough here. He's got a couple of Corruptors. He's got mainly Hydra. His army is very vulnerable to Storms. Speaking of, there's still 1 Storm with the main army. Here come reinforcements. Oh, Fungal on the Mothership, Fungal on the High Templar. But there's that Storm. And Shameless can keep pushing in. Now he's calming down. Pulls away, he's trying to resaturate his bases. +1 barely did not complete. Nice little run by. And Mixu's hurting. Mixu is hurting quite a lot here. He's got 2 infestors, he's holding onto 1 fungal. Shameless is pushing onto creep, but he's safe enough to do so. Did lose most of his Tempest though. But yeah, now they're coming in. GG gets called as Shameless. He has far too much to handle, and Shameless, he will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. For the most part, Shameless was in control this game. There was a nice moment for Mixu where he was able to punish Shameless for being out of position. If you remember, it looks like Shameless, he was going for his own counterattack with his defensive army, and there was nothing to counterattack. There were no bases where he was headed. So as his army moved out, Mixu moved in, and hey, Mixu, he got, what was it, 27 probes. He killed 27 workers. He killed the 4th base. Oh, sorry, he killed the 3rd base. He killed the 3rd base, and he was able to disrupt some of the production as well, some of the upgrades. So it was a very successful run by from Mixu, but as we were trying to emphasize, the reality is he could never stop the main army, right? He could never stop the death blow of an army that Shameless had built up. He was just stuck on too many Hydras, too few spellcasters, and a big reason for that, if you remember, it was because Mixu did struggle in the mid game. He lost so many drones to the Oracle harass, to the Adept harass. He did stumble his way into the mid to late game, and that's why we saw that Shameless was as comfortable as he was. GG. GG, well played, and now we're getting into game number 2. Let's go. Here we go. This morning in the bottom left hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the blue Protoss player. The blue Protoss leading the series 1-0 for Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Zerg player, the Finnish Zerg. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. It is Mixu. Here we go. So we are loading into game 2. And what I will say is that, welcome to Tourmaline. Tourmaline is a map that favors more aggressive builds, that favors more, or it does make it more difficult here to be defensive on your initial 3 and 4 bases. So this is a map where Mixu can be more aggressive, can be more assertive. This is where he can have momentum himself if he does cut workers early and commits into an all-in. Now, the reasoning for this, as you can see here, we have a massive entrance in between the natural and the 3rd base. Likewise, there's no high ground, there's no point of elevation, there's no side blockers either, there's no rocks. Going from your natural to your opponent's natural is just one straight line. It's just one straight line. There are some side blockers here in the center, but that's it. Like, this is the only real obstacle in the way. Otherwise, you can just walk from one side directly to the other side without any real defensive position to try to slow the army down. Not just this, but there's also a very wide entrance here that can be made even wider, by the way, by knocking down these rocks. So a massive entrance into the 3rd. So massive entrance into the 3rd base, massive entrance in between the 3rd and natural. So all-ins and aggression are heavily favored here on Tourmaline, and we're expecting that out of Mixu. Now, it goes both ways. As Shameless, he can be aggressive himself. He can be hyper defensive as well. We'll see how Shameless adjusts. We do expect him to divert from just a regular standard opener. He can go for earlier blink. He can go for earlier glaives. There are ways for Shameless to adjust as well. Likewise, we're seeing like Terrans go for 8 Raxes on this map as well, like 8 Raxes, 3 base 8 gate all-ins from Protoss, or of course cutting workers at 3 base saturation and going into German taxis or laying Hydra all-ins from the side of Zerg. So we have aggressive options before the late game, before the Sky Toss. Oh, it's for now. Casito. My apologies. There was a pylon block here at the natural. The goal, if you go for the pylon block, is to buy enough time for the adept to arrive. Then the adept kills the drone, and then you heavily delay the natural. But as you saw, the pylon was dealt with just barely in time. The adept was 2 seconds too late, and with that, the base gets up. The 3rd base does get up. Second adept has arrived. 2 adepts taking 1-shot drones. They get in. Ooh. They do barely get in. They get one. They get 2 drone kills. Nice damage, and they will get away. Yeah, link speed is done in 10 seconds. Adepts, they managed to pull out. Actually, oh, get away. Do you pull out? Mixu is hunting. He's hunting for the Adepts. And it looks like he will get one. Barely not. They're not. Shameless, he does a race back home. Lings are here to hopefully hunt down the Adept. And it looks like they barely will. He gets one. Adept goes down. Oracle into the main base. Spores are delayed. Yeah, no spore in the main. Gets 3 drones. No spore. We are skipping spores. So a little bit greedy there for Mixu. Relying on queens. That is an earlier Twilight Council. So we spoke about this earlier, right? How Shameless should the Protoss should also be adapting to the map as well. And we're seeing that. Early Twilight Council, late Forge. What does this mean? This could be one of 2 things. Either early Glaives or early Blink. If we see a late Forge, then it's going to be Blink. If we see no Forge, it's going to be Glaives. Meanwhile, 2 Oracles. Remember, we spoke about it. No spores, and this is critical damage. 11 drones. 11 drones go down. Mixu getting punished for skipping that spore. He had a spore in his main is natural, but not at the 3rd base, and that is critical damage. We have the answer: late Forge, early Blink. If you're curious what this means and what the purpose of this is, early Blink in such a way with a delayed Forge means that if Mixu goes for a 3-base all-in, Blink will be done in time to defend. Like Blink will be a factor in the defense. So really early Blink allows for a stronger defensive play early on. It also means that Shameless can be aggressive earlier as well. If there is no all-in from Mixu, he can move out, he can apply pressure, and deny the 4th base of Mixu. Mixu's going for the Roach Warren, and Mixu's not droning. Mixu's going for an all-in. Now the problem here is, even though we spoke about how like all-ins are favored on this map, we're forcing Mixu into an all-in, right? This is an all-in after losing 16 drones. Imagine an all-in without these losses, right? It hits that much stronger, that much faster. There's so much more behind it with the superior economy. Here, it's Mixu kind of stumbling his way and being forced into an all-in instead. So not ideal, but here it comes. So we're walking across the map. It gets spotted by the Oracles. Shameless is aware. Oh, and he does have a bit of a misrally. We'll lose 1 Oracle. That's pretty huge. That means less stasis traps. Less stasis traps, less pulsar beams. Shield wire is now being thrown down. A bit of a late reaction here by Shameless. Blink is done. Remember, we spoke about that. Due to the early Twilight Council, Blink is going to be a factor. Clouds are coming in. This area is so open. It's so open. He's breaking in. He breaks through. Yeah, the pylon does fall. Oracle is activated. Queens are waddling in. Takes down the Cyber Core as well. Nice pick up. No more Stalkers. What you see is what you get. Ooh, does force friendly fire. Yeah, friendly fire on the Lings. We're running out of Lings. Pulls back to the cannon. Pulls back to the shield battery. While does graze the army, but the Queens are exposed. And Mixu, he's running out of steam here. He does break into the mineral line though. The Oracle. Oracle pulls away. And it obviously it's a one-way trip. It's a one-way trip here. Oh, the Biles! Oh my god. 19 probe kills, crazy damage. Gets 19 workers, Lings they come in from behind, and it looks like Mixu has done it. Yeah, Mixu has done it here. Against Shameless, he had a late reaction. He lost an Oracle, which was huge as well. As Shameless will eventually clean this up, but what's going to be left? What's going to be left back? As Mixu now is joining. Mixu is joining up. He's saturating. The all-in has ended. And where exactly are we from here? Okay, so first things first, Shameless still ahead probe-wise. Shameless is still ahead economically. So what is scary? Okay, we need more damage. What is scary about this position is that Mixu, he did a lot of damage. Mixu, he killed 32 probes. He's still behind. Mixu is that's how all-in Mixu was. He's still behind. Mixu, he needs more damage. And he's failing to get that damage here. He gets 4 extra probes, which is nice. But again, Mixu is still behind economically. Likewise, no lair. compare the players here. No lair, 0 upgrades. Shameless is getting +2. He's getting +2, getting charge. Shameless, his tech is still very solid coming into the mid game. Mixu, that was meant to kill, right? That was an all-in. It's an all-in for a reason. That was meant to kill Shameless, and he fails to do so. It was good damage, not good enough. Not good enough here. As we have Mixu trying to recover. Now, there are ways to recover in this game. The big hope is that Shameless doesn't attack. if Shameless chills back at home, if he stays back, if he gets a 4th base and he throws down like a fleet beacon and a Stargate and a Temple Archives, and if instead of being aggressive he decides to just turtle and tech up, then Mixu will have the opportunity to maybe force some mistakes and to recover, to drone up and have a chance. What I'm concerned by though is this +2 timing. +2 is finishing up. We have the Bay on the way for Colossus production. Shameless, he has no War Prism. So far, Shameless is not moving out. So far, at least. And Mixu's droning, right? Mixu is droning as much as he can. He's taking a 4th base. This 4th base is so far away. But he's getting his 4th. And Mixu, he needs time. He needs time back. And we can see Shameless slowly going up creep. If Shameless was aware of the 4th location, he could totally bring it down. Like, he could kill the 4th. But so far, just focusing on clearing up creep instead. +3 has begun. And Shameless is taking his time. He's taking his time, clearing up the center of the map. Mixu does run up to 70. That's like 3.5 base-ish saturation-ish. 3 and a bit. And it looks like Shameless is uncomfortable moving out without any splash damage. So wait for the Colossus into Temple Archives. I mean, hey, like, he's teching, right? Like, he's teching up, which is giving Mixu some time. Now, I would have hoped, and the best way to have taken advantage of this would have been Mixu, instead of making all these Hydras, and I understand he was scared of a push, is to fully drone up the 4th and get a 5th base. He's getting there kind of, but again, we could have just focused on droning, taking gases, getting a 5th base, just to be a little bit greedier, to try to get away with the greed. Shameless is moving in. And again, we'll see if Mixu can survive until Lurker attack. If he can survive until Lurkers, he can slow the game down and force out Sky Toss. As again, Shameless, if he wanted to, he could be denying the 4th base, he could be denying the 5th base as well, but Shameless is just chilling back at home. Mixu's pushing. He's going for a secondary all-in. Mixu, he's not taking into Lurkers, and no shot. He cannot. At the same time, nice run by. Nice counterattack. Does force out some defensive warpins, but Mixu cannot fight the main army. So instead of taking Mixu, he was hoping that maybe Shameless was being too greedy. But yeah, this Ling Hydra army, it just crumbles. This is just such a frail, such a fragile composition. You can see the Ling Hydra just topples over. And with that, yeah, Shameless, he just blinks in. He blinks in. And with that, Shameless, he will overwhelm the army. +3 will kick in towards the end. GG gets called, and Shameless, he will take the series 2-0. He will advance on to the semifinals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Shameless, as he does claim the series. Again, Mixu, he did, as we mentioned, all-ins are expected on Tourmaline, and Mixu did go for an all-in, but it wasn't just an all-in. Remember, he was forced into it. That was an all-in after losing 16 drones, so it was weaker. It was a weakened all-in, it was delayed, it was suboptimal. We saw that Mixu, despite that, still killed a bunch of probes. He still broke into the natural, got a bunch of worker damage. Still wasn't enough though. Like, again, like despite that, when the dust settled, Shameless still had a higher probe count, and of course he had the better upgrades, the better tech. We had to kill Shameless there, and Shameless, he survived and was able to very quickly recover. GG. GG, well played. With that, let's head on over here towards the bracket. Let's catch up on what has been going on. Let's go.